Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Soldier in Me podcast. I'm your host, Tonia Michelle, and this is episode 4. We are talking about creating and sticking to healthy habits. So let's get started. Time to play a little catch up. If you're watching on YouTube, you're probably looking at my face like, OMG, her face is beat. And yes, baby, it is. Today I had new headshots taken at WBRC, my job, and we shot a promo or two. I can't remember how many we did. I think it was one, maybe two, whatever. So I went and got my makeup done. I had to redeem myself from the last time because, guys, the last time we had a promo shoot, your girl didn't even know we had a promo shoot. I had to pull up to work real fast, skirt, because, like I said, I didn't know I had a promo shoot and I didn't have my makeup done, didn't have my makeup with me. I had to throw on a dress that was at the station. It was a hot mess. So I redeemed myself this time. I got my hair curled this morning and the morning of me filming this podcast, of course. I got my hair done, my makeup done. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're getting the full glam look for episode 4, and I'm super excited to be back, guys. It is late. I'm shooting this at night. It is currently 1:33 a.m. That just goes to show you how I'm sticking to my routines and creating a healthy habit in my life as I try to stay consistent on this channel with posting podcast episodes. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. And I just love you guys for supporting. And I hope you really get to take something away from each and every episode. This is the Soldier in Me podcast. And I'm hoping that the soldier in me helps to bring out the soldier in you to also help you begin to be more consistent. We talked about consistency last week, but now we're talking about being consistent with sticking and creating those healthy habits. And healthy habits can be anything. This is wellness in general. This does not have to be fitness alone. This does not have to be what you eat alone. No, this episode is about it all. So we're going to break into it. But back to my update, because I'm kind of getting all over the place. I have my notes over here. I need to follow the script. It's not really a script, guys. It's just like bullets so that I can keep my thought process in order. So if you're watching the video version of this podcast, I'm looking to the side because, of course, I'm looking at my laptop. As far as creating and sticking to healthy habits and just walking you through some parts of my life where I literally had to create and stick to healthy habits. Number one, I have been meal prepping, and I know you would think that it's part of a routine. It kind of is, but the habit that I'm creating is eating healthier. And by having the routine of meal prepping helps me to be more habitual in my eating habits and not eating out. But as of this past week, your girl been so busy, she hadn't had time to meal prep or anything. I think I had meal preps to last us a day and a half, which is really not long. Like a day and a half of like 7 meals, it flies by if I eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I think we had pork chops and green beans that last us that day and a half. And, I was in a habit of just going in my fridge, grabbing my meal prep, eating that meal for the day and feeling full, and then not eating a whole bunch of snacks all throughout the day to try to keep me full, and just creating that healthy habitual lifestyle. Because I do believe that, what you feed yourself is how your body reacts. That's part of how you feel as far as whether you're energized or feeling more lazy and sleepy. And honestly, I'm feeling sleepy and lazy right now because of all the junk I've ate. I literally had Guthrie's. If you never heard of it, it's literally like a Zaxby's, same exact food, different menu. It's a lot more simpler. You either get a sandwich or you get chicken tenders and fries. They have literally 2 things on their menu, the box or the sandwich. And I love it because I don't have to make a decision. I just say, am I feeling for a chicken sandwich today or am I feeling for strips today? And then I make my choice. But anyways, haven't been really in my habit era for this week, but we're going to get back on it. So we're going to talk about sticking to habits a little bit better, because you can create a habit, but is it really a habit if you're not sticking to it? No. Skirt, rewind. What is a habit? Because I think it's really important for you to understand what a habit is for you to know what you need to be doing. So a habit is an action or behavior performed regularly and automatically, often without conscious thought. They're ingrained patterns that are hard to break once established. So let's just say my meal prepping and my eating healthy is not technically a habit. It's something that I don't do automatically. I have to put things in place as far as a routine to help me make that habit of eating healthier, and that's okay. But let's talk about routines. A routine is a sequence of events or actions regularly followed, often requiring more conscious effort and planning. Routines can be habits over time with repetition and consistency. So last week we talked about consistency. This literally goes hand in hand. If you're trying to create better routines to hopefully withstand habits over a longer period of time. I think it's good to become a habit of working out. I think it's great to have habits of eating healthy, of drinking water. Speaking of water, I'm going to take a sip real quick. If you're listening on the podcast, my mouth's a little dry, so I've been trying to create a habit of drinking more water because I know how important it is for not just my skin, but just for our bodies in general. We need water, and I am horrible at drinking it. So I bought myself a cute little cup. It's not a Stanley, it's a Simply Modern cup, but I bought myself a cup so that I can create that habit of drinking more water. And honestly, I drink so much water out this cup, and the water just tastes better for some reason. I don't know if you're listening to this, but to me, when I'm drinking out of a cute cup, the water tastes better. Like it don't taste like a soda, but I'm just telling you, like, it's just something about it when it's in a fancy cup. It just like, water be hitting, okay? Also creating habits of getting more sleep. Me filming this podcast at 1:40 a.m. is not ideal, but it's okay. I'm doing it for you guys. I have gotten in a habit of at least getting 10 hours of sleep every night. I'm going to sleep in because I don't go to work tomorrow until 2. So you guys get the luxury of listening to me talking to you in the middle of the night while my husband is asleep. Even Mocha is asleep. I'm the only one in the house awake. Okay. Reading regularly is another thing that is a good habit to create. Now let's talk about a little bit of some unhealthy habits because we're going through the definition of this. Some unhealthy habits: smoking. If you're a smoker, I'm not coming for you, but I'm kind of slick coming for you because, honey, this is not a healthy habit. I don't care if you like to do it. The science shows that smoking is not healthy. So don't fight me. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Okay, I'm not coming for you, but I'm just telling you it's unhealthy. Overeating is very unhealthy, an unhealthy habit. Excessive screen time, I'm guilty of this one. So I didn't come for y'all smoking. Y'all don't come for me for the screen time one, but let's just note that it is unhealthy. Biting your nails is an unhealthy habit. I don't do that, but I know people that do. Unhealthy habit. And most people will bite their nails when they're like nervous or anxious. Unhealthy habit. Skipping meals is unhealthy. So not only is eating healthy a good habit, but you limiting too much of food and skipping meals is an unhealthy habit. So, you have to have a balance at every habit because it can easily become a healthy habit, and then it can easily at the same time become an unhealthy habit. Procrastination is a very unhealthy habit, and I'm guilty of this one too, so don't come for me. My last example of an unhealthy habit is lack of physical activity. We kind of talked about that, but you got to exercise. You got to move your body. That you have to create a healthy habit with exercising, okay? Let's just talk about some of the unhealthy habits that I have and how I have turned my past unhealthy habits to good habits. So one of the unhealthy habits that I've had in the past was, one of my unhealthy habits that is not as unhealthy as it was before is popping my pimples and they leave scars on my face. That is an unhealthy habit. And one way that I have combated that unhealthy habit is by creating a healthy habit of a good skincare routine. So I have a skincare routine that I literally do regularly, and I'm going to do it once I'm done filming this podcast episode because I need to get this makeup off my face. But the whole point of me building a better skincare routine is so that I have less breakouts. So now I don't have the habit of having to pop my pimples. So there are resolutions that you can create in your life to help combat those unhealthy habits and turn them into healthy ones without having to literally strip yourself and strict yourself down to certain actions to get that unhealthy habit healthy. Does that make sense? You don't have to be super strict on what you do to make that unhealthy habit a healthy habit. You can literally implement steps and routines that make it easier for you to avoid the unhealthy habit, like popping your pimples, by creating a healthy skincare routine and keeping it simple. So I've created a simple skincare routine, and me saying this example about the skin is the same thing when it comes to working out in the gym. I tell everyone, I am not a consistent athlete. I'm not a consistent gym goer, okay? But I do work out consistently. Does that make sense? I don't play a sport and I don't work out in the gym every single day, but I work out consistently. And the reason why is because I've created physical activity for myself that's really easy that I don't have to think about, like going for a 20-minute walk and going for a 2-mile run. And I don't do a 2-mile run every day. I'll replace it with a 20-minute walk on the days that I can't do a 2-mile run, because I understand that I'm just trying to get in my physical activity and make physical activity a healthy habit for myself. So instead of making myself super confined to a strict routine where I have to do deadlifts and legs and arms and switch, all these Instagram influencers, all these people on social media make it seem like you have to show up a certain way and you have to do leg day on Mondays and arm days on Tuesdays and backs on Wednesdays. No, honey, no. If that's not you, then you don't have to do that, because you need to create a habit. You need to create a routine. Let me rephrase that. You need to create a routine that's easy for you to continue. Don't create routines that are out of reach and that you know you're going to fall off of 2-3 weeks from now. And matter of fact, sometimes less than a week from now. You might start that routine and do it 2 days straight, and on day 3, you're giving up. The reason why is because you're so strict on your routine that it's hard for you to keep up with it. Sometimes starting small is the best way to get started into creating a healthy habit. So instead of saying, okay, I'm gonna become a gym guru and I'm gonna work out 7 days a week, that's so strict that you're gonna get bored and you're gonna give up. Like, let's just be honest. We're human. We get bored. We give up. Now, some people, they're so used to that. That's their habitual. That's their habit. That's their go-to thing. That is fine. But don't do it because that's what all the gurus online are doing. If you want to create healthy habits and stick to them in your life, make sure they're obtainable and sustainable for you. Time to drink more water. Oh, we went through the definition. Let's talk about creating those healthy habits. So number 1, identify the right habits. You want to make sure that you can identify those healthy habits, and also be honest with yourself on what habits are unhealthy, what habits that are habits that you know you need to break. If you are on your phone scrolling 24/7, that's a habit you need to break, honey, because we do not have time to be scrolling our phone 24/7. You have a life to live outside of your cellular device. I'm learning this too every single day. I'm a social media person. I love creating content. I love consuming content because I consume content to create content. And yes, I can be scrolling on content a whole lot, and I have to be careful, because if I'm not, I literally end up stuck because I waste so much time and my whole day just flies before my eyes because of me in a bad habit of scrolling. So you need to identify your healthy habits from your bad habits, and then start to create routines that you can easily combat those unhealthy habits to make them healthy ones. You can start by starting small. Start small and set clear and achievable. Let's back that up. Set clear and what did I say? Achievable goals. You need to make sure your goals are specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant, and time bound. And that's the SMART acronym. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So if you have goals, smart goals, you literally set yourself up for success because you're setting goals that you know you can consistently continue to work towards. We talked about consistency last week, guys. Don't act like you forgot. If you missed episode 3 of the Soldier Me podcast, go back and listen to it because it's important to set those achievable goals so that you can easily be consistent. Don't stress yourself out. We're not stressing ourselves out here, okay? We do things a lot simpler and we do things based on what's best for us. On the Soldier Me podcast, I'm letting you know that the Soldier Me is reminding you it is okay if you have to do things that are best for you. Because if we follow the trends of what everyone else is doing, we will fall off so fast. Make sure it's something that you enjoy. Make sure it's something that you can measure. You can measure your progress. Make sure it's something that's achievable for where you already are at, relevant to you and your goals, and time bound. So set a realistic time frame so that you can have a time frame that you want that goal to be achieved and when you want to achieve it. I love that. That was good. Planning and preparation. It's important to plan ahead to make the habit easier to follow. So I plan my meals because it's easier for me to eat healthy and to follow my healthy eating habits if I have meals planned. When I don't have meals planned, I don't have time to cook each and every day. So it's harder for me to eat healthy. It's harder for me to just come home at 11 o'clock, if not after 11:30, and literally get a healthy meal in. It's just almost impossible if the meal is not already cooked. So I've learned for myself to be smart. I have to be specific on what I'm going to make. So I make pork chops and green beans and put my veggies and my meat in a container. I am measuring my goals by making a certain amount of meals that can last me throughout so many days. I am achieving because I eat them. So I'm achieving my eating healthy habit by eating those healthy meal prepped meals. And then it's relevant because I know I want to eat healthy. And if I have the meals ready for me to go, then I just grab it and go and we good. Okay. And it's time bound because I save so much time. That is me breaking down my SMART goal for eating healthy. I hope that made a little bit more sense. So for you to stick to your goals, you need to, one, track your progress. If you're working out, and when I mean working out, you find a workout routine that works best for you. And maybe that is working out doing a dancing video like Grow with Joe. Have you ever heard of Grow with Joe? If you're listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I've heard of Grow with Joe. Her workout routines are really great for busy moms. You can dance and work out and sweat with your kids, and her results are legit. Like, people think they have to do the most to lose weight. Maybe you want to start jump roping. I have a friend who works with me. Her name is Amber, and she was like, Tonia, I found out what's working for me, and I love it. She loves jump roping now. And I'm like, that is great because you don't have to be in the gym squatting 45 to 100 pounds every single day for you to find yourself reaching your fitness goals. And that's not necessary. Keep it simple. Be light, easy with yourself, groove with yourself a little bit, and figure out what works best for you so that you can stay consistent in fighting those unhealthy habits. Overcoming obstacles. Because we all know challenges are gonna come when it comes to maintaining those habits. Lack of time, motivation dips, you're gonna be like, you're gonna be unmotivated sometimes, and that's okay. I've been there and I am there often. External distractions, you get distracted by things that come up, family issues. Maybe you have to travel all of a sudden. You can't meal prep. You have to be flexible with yourself and give yourself grace throughout the process and just hop back on the bandwagon of being consistent again and getting back on track with following and sticking to those healthy habits again. Because if you fall off, that's okay. That's why God exists. That's why Jesus died for our sins. He gives us grace, and he expects you to give yourself grace when you fall off too. So forgive yourself. We're human. That's fine. That doesn't mean that you're a bad person, that you slipped up and went back to a quote unquote bad habit. I want to give you guys some practical tips on staying motivated. Give yourself some rewards. Have those self-care days. Get your makeup done. Get your hair done. Get your nails done. Guys, I had a whole self-care week last week. I have never pampered myself in such a short time frame since my wedding. And even then, it was so stressful. It wasn't good self-care. But guys, last week I got my hair done. I got my nails done. I got my eyebrows done. This week I got my makeup done. I treated myself using a gift card that I forgot I had to Starbucks. Those rewards have kept me motivated over this past week and into this week because your girl is tired. I work so hard and you probably do too, and I'm not knocking that, but you deserve to reward yourself. So don't forget that. Reward yourself, and that can be a great motivation for you to keep going. Visualize your success. Oh, hallelujah. Don't just see yourself for where you are. See yourself for where you are going, baby, because you are going places. And if you have started today, tomorrow, you are already better than where you were yesterday. If you started right now, like you already going forward, you're already going up. So visualize your success from looking at where you're at and visualizing where you could be if you just kept going. I'm so proud of you for even starting. And even if you haven't started, I know after this video, you're gonna start. So I'm proud of you for watching this video and telling yourself, Tonia, you are motivating me. I'm starting. We can all be soldiers. You have a soldier inside of you, and I wanna ignite that. I wanna stir that up a little bit. I wanna put a little fire in you so that you can get back up and keep going. And if keep going is not where you're even at, maybe just getting started is where you're at. I want you to get there. I want you to get up and go. So you can overcome those obstacles by not just rewarding yourself, but visualizing your success. And remind yourself of the benefits of what you're doing. If you stop smoking, if you smoke for one, it's okay. You know, we all pick up bad habits. And my bad habit of eating unhealthy, procrastinating, of being late all the time, those bad habits are no different from you picking up a blunt or a cigarette. It's really not. It is different. Yeah, I took that back. Yes, they are different habits. It doesn't make you any different from me because we both have something that we need to work on. You can overcome that. You can overcome that. Any bad habit, you know, we are no different. We are all dealing with something that we should probably change. So let's just do a real quick recap and then we're going to close out on this podcast. I just want to say thank you to all of you who have just been so supportive on my new podcast journey. It's been so fun. It's really therapeutic for me, and I'm hoping it's therapeutic for you, that this is something on my YouTube channel and something on all of my podcast platforms that you guys can take away and actually feel inspired and uplifted and kind of get to know me a little bit more. Everyone goes through things and everyone deserves a chance in life, and everyone deserves to be better for themselves. And that's why I wanted to create this podcast, because I know there's a soldier inside of everyone. And when I think of a soldier, I think of someone who is just strong, and not strong all the time, but showing being weak and overcoming your weaknesses is a definition of strength. So that's a soldier. And I'm done rambling on that, but I just want to say thank you. I just needed to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who's ever tuned into my podcast, even if it was just for a minute. I love it and I'm grateful. Thank you. But sticking and creating those healthy habits is so important. And I just want to tell you and remind you that when you fall off, give yourself grace, pick it back up, get back on it. It's okay. You will be okay. We will all be okay. But it's important that we remind ourselves that we deserve to be better for ourselves, and that we deserve to look at the areas in our lives where our habits aren't healthy for us, and to make that conscious decision first, and then the actual decision physically to put action towards changing those bad habits and turning it to something great. I'm so glad that you guys realize that you are a soldier, and I'm so glad that the soldier in me is able to bring out the soldier in you and hopefully help you stick and create healthier habits in your life. Thank you so much for listening to episode 4 of the Soldier in Me podcast. I will see you guys, and you will listen to me. Hopefully you come back. I will see and talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Tonia Michelle, and I'll see you next week in the Soldier in Me podcast. Love you guys. Bye.